Alright, what's up guys? So I'm wanting to play some Scene of the Crime. I've been wanting to play this game for forever. I think I first read about it in the mid-2000s on like Wikipedia or something like that. And I've always wanted to play this, and I'm pretty excited that it's finally available thanks to Night Trap 25, Tyler Hogel's effort. We are now able to enjoy Scene of the Crime. So I'll get right into it. I screwed around with it a little bit the other day, but I was like, I should do a video on this, a Let's Play. So, and forgive me for setting up the camera wrong. Camera's on this side of the monitor, but I'm looking this way, so it's kind of a production no-no, but whatever. The soundtrack on this is so freaking good. He's using an Atari controller. So in case you weren't aware, it's like the original Night Trap. It's already started. The game's already started. But I'm gonna watch the intro.
I'll be right there, darling. Watch them with the cameras. If anyone tries anything, I want to know about it. Coming!
Whoa! Hello! Well, I'm gonna make myself comfortable in this room. Hello!
Oh, you did. That's great. Here, send me a...
She looks really familiar.
Yes, yes, of course.
Oh, good. We can go on our trip tonight.
Who is she?
Tonight.
Yes, we must leave now. You see someone else and find it. Come on, come on.
No.
What is she doing?
Claire, Mrs. Stevens. Oh, we could use...
This must be the precursor to the Lisa scene.
It's over here. Oh, out. You go out this way.
Hey? Anybody?
Hello!
Just stick to the plan. Ready for dinner, Mrs. Stevens?
What happened?
We have a shower scene, folks. For some reason, the controller quit working.
In here. My God, I've been robbed!
He's been robbed!
Everyone, right where you are. Now we're going to
we'll say it's her just for kicks and giggles.
Norman, you really don't.
You see, Philly dear, I had these surveillance cameras installed so that
I won!
Norman, you really.
I trusted you, Phyllis dear. Give me the police.
Huh. Well, that's interesting. I wonder what happens when you pick Norman. It might be fun to experiment with. So I just ate some hot sauce so my sinuses are jacked up. So I've been listening to a lot of ska music the past few days, which is pretty cool. For those of you who weren't, I guess, around in the mid '90s, then you missed out on the whole thing. I was right there front and center. I remember
John, I'm afraid the family fortune was
it was probably about 95, 96 when I first heard ska. No, it was 95. Because the first time I ever heard it was on Clueless, when the Boss Tones played on Clueless. But I didn't really think anything of it until a little bit later on. I started junior high school in 1995. So pretty much the soundtrack to my junior high school was ska music.
Well, maybe a little.
I could just stay here in this room right here. Aw.
That's it. Slowly around. Now the.
She just looks really familiar. Like I've seen her somewhere.
Oh, you did. That's great. Here, sit me on.
And this is probably filmed in, what, 86? Early 87?
Yes, we must leave now.
Because this is before Night Trap or Sewer Shark. This was the concept for Night Trap. So yeah, this is probably 86.
Right away.
But did any of you guys listen to ska music back in the day? Were you around? Were you into it? I was very into it. I remember it was in 7th grade. It was late 96, early 97, somewhere around there. Me and this guy in school, Jacob, we were friends. I think started in about 5th grade. We bonded over to love for Sega. But at any rate, we had a class together. And on my, wasn't a Trapper Keeper because that was after that, but the notebook zipper thingy, you know, I had written in black and white, no, it was in plaid. I'd written in plaid the word ska on it with an exclamation mark. And I remember he came in class one day and looked at it, he's like, "You like ska music?" And I was like, "Yeah, man." And he's like, "I love ska music." And we had never even really talked about music before. And that was the first time that we actually, I guess, started talking about music. Up until that point, we just talked about video games. And found out that we actually liked a lot of the similar things. We were both into punk music. We were both into ska. He wasn't really receptive at all to the more extreme stuff like thrash and hardcore and things like that, death metal. He just wasn't into stuff like that. But I was really into that stuff. But we talked about jazz music, some alternative, of course, because it was the mid-90s, so everybody was listening to alternative.
Who did it?
No, Norman, that can't be right. We were together in the hallway when the lights went out. Really?
We were together in the hallway when the lights went out.
Very carefully. Norman, listen.
I want to get both endings so I can get Riley's notebook. But yeah, we started really bonding over the love of music, and from seventh grade to you know, when we graduated, that was what we would really talk about and share. We would make mixtapes or mixies for each other, being like, here are the bands I discovered, and he'd be like, here are the bands I discovered. He was huge into Moonska Records out of New York City, and he would always get their catalogs in the mail. He would mail order stuff from them as well, so that was pretty cool. He would bring the Moonska catalogs to school, and I was really in Tooth and Nail Records. I ordered their stuff, so I brought their catalogs too, so that was pretty cool. I'd like to actually get some of those old Moonska mail order catalogs if
I'm afraid the family feels
they can be tracked down. I have all but one of the Tooth and Nail Records catalogs, all of them. I'm still trying to track down that last one. And once I do, I'll be able to scan them and put them up on the internet in high quality. But I'm waiting to get the last one so I can start on that project, because I don't want to start it and then be like, oh, by the way, I'm missing one. I would prefer to have all of them before I start that project of preservation. Which is another thing that I'm a huge proponent for, is preservation of things, whether it be movies, music, video games, literature. I don't really care, but there's definitely a need for that. And it's the thing that kind of scares me about going into the digital age. The more we go toward the digital age, it's going to be harder and harder for preservation. Preservation of records. You know, when albums are all digital, it'll be harder to track them down later, because what if the band breaks up, what if there's a rights issue, songs get taken off the store. There's already stuff you can't find on Spotify anymore that you could 2 years ago. It's just like Netflix, you know, it's just a revolving door of rights. So once contracts expire, the songs, the tracks, the albums, whatever, they get taken off. And then video games. Video games, I think, and movies. Video games and movies are the two hardest hit, most notably movies, because it's like the rights holders, they want to practice a strong attempt at holding their rights, but they don't allow any sort of unauthorized distribution, which I don't blame them. Obviously they should get paid for their work, but it's still wow.
Hi, Norman. Tiffany and I were just having a little chat.
Yeah, sure, you were getting her roughed up. But anyway, yeah, it's just like, say for instance, there was an older game from the 90s and you want to play it, and it was on MS-DOS only. Of course, computers nowadays, they won't even run the games, but say you had a computer, a 90s based, Pentium 2 processor computer, and you had a floppy drive, you had the floppy, all that other stuff, and you wanted to play the old games, but you didn't have the discs. You should be able, in essence, to find out who did the game, Interplay, id Software, whatever. Go to their website, download the game, give them, $3, $4, whatever, but you can't. They don't make that stuff available. Can you even play the Sword of Destiny or Spear of Destiny or whatever it is right now? The Wolfenstein game? Is that even available anywhere? See what happens when we choose Tile Girl.
No, Norman, that
Nope.
can't be right. We were together in the
Whatever.
hallway when the lights went out.
But yeah, that's just something that I worry about a lot, and I'm really worried about it with Sonic Mania. I wish Sonic Mania would get a physical release, because what happens, as long as I have the console that the game is on, I'll be set. Like with Night Trap, for instance, it was a digital game but limited run. Did it. So as long as I have a PlayStation 4 in my possession or a PC in my possession, I can always come back and play that game. It may be unpatched, in 20 years, the servers are down, I can't get the patches, So there's those problems, but you still have a semblance of being able to play the game as was released. But I don't know. That's just since Sonic Mania was only on digital. What happens whenever my Switch dies? Well, I realize I could just go get a new one, but say 20 years from now the Switch dies. What if there's a rights issue? Sega loses the rights to Sonic or whatever it is, whatever the case may be, and the game gets taken off the stores. We saw that with PT, Silent Hill. We saw that with Afterburner with Sega. They lost their rights to that particular jet, and it got taken off the store, Xbox Live and PlayStation Network. And that was a fantastic game. Now you can't play it. You can't play it at all. It's nowhere to be found. Same thing with PT. So those are things that kind of concern me with this digital age. We need to be able to preserve these things for posterity. And if the rights holders, publishers, developers aren't preserving it, then the next best solution is piracy. If they're unwilling to make sure that their works are available at cost or at no cost, whatever's up to them, then that's the only other viable option is piracy. And I think that's what it's going to come down to.
Found the safe.
Oh, you did? That's great. Here, zip me up.
Do you still have the combination?
Lots, Norman. Why?
Well, she's gone to take a shower.
You can definitely see where they had the idea for Night Trap with this, because you kind of have to duck in and out from different rooms and see what's going on. But obviously you want to just stay in the study. But you can't just stay in the study because you want to go to other rooms to see what's going on. So, yeah.
Where have you been?
I think John Stevens is after the safe
Don't
as well.
worry about that.
Not so fast, young lady. Did you and your little friend
Stop
Philip
it.
have fun playing with Daddy's safe, did we?
No.
I want
Get
the
your hands
combination
off
of that
me.
safe.
What are you doing to her?
Do you mean, Mrs. Stevens?
Uh-oh. What is the meaning of this? Who is this?
My God, I've been robbed! Freeze! Everyone, right where you are.
Let's try the twerp in the white shirt.
Now we're going to find out just who it was that robbed me of my money.
Okay, who did it?
No, Norman, that can't be right. We were together in the hallway when the lights went out. Really, whoever you are, you're obviously not watching this house very carefully.
Oh, rats.
Norman, we'll see you in a little while. I'm sorry, everybody.
Oh, well, yeah, I guess I'll call this episode a day. I was hoping I might be able to get both endings, but I guess I just got one. So whatever, we can look at the other one some other time. But yeah, I just wanted to talk about those things and just play and have fun. So thanks for watching and peace out.